Okay, we're going. Without much ado, I think I'm going to get into Aram here. I do want to address quickly, though, this video about AMD. Um, it's been a while since I've used Intel as my main system. So, um, growing up, I guess I had an Intel based system, and then I got an AMD based laptop. It had an AMD GPU, but it still had an Intel CPU. Another Intel laptop, and then I had like one more Intel desktop, and then I had two AMD desktops now. So I have two different AMD CPUs. My laptops, like my last two laptops, have been AMD CPUs. Um, and yeah, I feel like AMD does lie about the performance of their stuff. If I open up my task manager here, we can take a look at my performance metrics. And I have a 5950X, which is the top of the line for the AM4 architecture, which basically means that they created another socket, or like the CPUs will look different. I don't know how to explain in any more basic terms, but basically, this is the best AM4 CPU you can get from AMD as far as I'm aware. An AM4 would be their architecture. So yeah, I mean it's been pretty good. The CPU itself, I don't know like top end if it ranks exactly as how it ranks against an Intel CPU or how it ranks against their advertised metrics. I know with CPUs, my understanding is a lot of the times there is inconsistency in how many cores will be usable whenever you produce the chip in a factory. So you create a CPU and then you check the dies and the cores and the threads. And there may be a few different threads or cores or dies that you have to disable or that don't get proper speeds, or, there's something quite not 100% good with them. But then, you know, X% of the product is like flawless, right? So there's like a high rate of turnover. So maybe like 40% of your batch has to turn off single thread, a single thread or some core or something like this because it's unstable. So a lot of what you see is like the difference between like a Ryzen 9 and a Ryzen 5 may just be that the Ryzen 9 came out of the production process untarnished, whereas the Ryzen 5, it was the same. They attempted to make the same CPU, but then they had to disable a few cores because they weren't functioning properly, and then they just sell it as a less powerful CPU. So that process of binning, where they kind of check, you know, um, what percentage messed up the product is once they create it, and then sell it as a different marketed product based on what happens. You can understand how, if consumers were 100% aware of that process, they might be more picky when it comes to what components they're purchasing, right? Um, so yeah, that, and then also, I mean, I guess uh Power Color, the GPU reseller, would be more responsible. Maybe, I don't know. I did get a 7900 XTX close to launch. I had to pay up because scalpers, and they don't allow pre-orders from AMD, which is really quite upsetting. And so I paid up like an extra like $250 for this expensive GPU, and then it didn't even work. My suspicion was that it was the cooling block. As I understand it, they forgot to like they didn't fill it up with enough liquid or something like this. It would basically just cause every GPU to overheat, and the only solution was to like get it RMA'd, and they would have to like cut it open and then reseal it after they add more liquid. So Yeah, the cooling block issue really destroyed my faith in AMD, because having to send back your GPU and getting throttling like that and spending like 3 days, just rebooting your computer constantly and trying to get it to work. Yeah, it would work for about 5-10 minutes, and then it would just throttle and behave even worse than this old card. So anyways, moving on. Computers, they are cool and expensive, and they're constantly lying about how good your computer is to you whenever you're making a purchase. Passmark is definitely one of my favorite sites.
This'll be a slaughter.
Trendamere is alright, but not really looking to Trendamere. Let's see if we get anything else.
This'll be a slaughter.
I don't know. I'm really not hyped for this. Wish I had mouse. Alright, we'll see how it goes. I'm probably about to get wrecked. Trendamere can perform well. I just have to like choose my opportunities really well. I recognize that I'm basically the front line here. It's gonna be me versus Lee Sin and Nasus. And I have to ult into a kill, otherwise I really don't have much to offer. We'll see. I may throw super hard here. I'm not gonna lie. If he had gotten rid of Teemo earlier, I probably would have went Teemo. But this is an incredibly good team to Teemo against, anyways. I think Trindle will be great. Nasus isn't gonna get the farm or anything. What is that supposed to build into? Yeah, I don't know about that. Commonly built. That looks good. I feel like I should be getting. I'm gonna need positional, like really bad. Like I should be getting whatever those like the starting items that are only in Aram. Alright, so at least I played that right. Well, I wasn't throwing, and I guess I'll count that as a win. Should just end the stream there. Quick match. Oh well. Yeah, the secret to playing melee on Aram is you have to like kind of stick to the grass and be aware of your visibility and stay back and wait for somebody to present an opportunity to go in, because if you just walk up front, you're gonna get clowned on by all the range that are poking constantly. All right, I think that's good. I think I'm gonna stop the stream and just